Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving headfirst into some of the biggest questions out there, the kind of stuff that has kept scientists, historians, and philosophers up at night for, well, forever. So let's just start with the question that kind of frames this whole journey. How does meat think? It's a really blunt way of asking, what is consciousness? This experience you're having right now. It really sets the stage for how deep these mysteries can go. All right, we have to start at the biggest scale possible, the universe itself. And the questions out here, they challenge everything we think we know about, well, everything. I mean, this is the big one, isn't it? The ultimate question. We have absolutely no scientific framework to explain why there is something. All of this, the stars, the planets, you, me, instead of just nothing, an empty, absolute void. Why are we here? Okay, so we know the universe is expanding. We can see it, we can measure the galaxies flying away from us, but the question is, what's it expanding into? Is there some pre-existing emptiness it's filling up, or is it literally creating space as it goes? The whole concept kind of breaks our brains, and we have no solid answer. And this is where we hit a total brick wall. The second you try to look past that initial super dense moment of the Big Bang, all our laws of physics, all our math, it just breaks. It stops working. So we're left with pure guesswork about something we might not even have the ability to ever know. Okay, let's zoom in a little bit. A lot, actually. From the scale of the cosmos right down to our own home planet. You'd think we'd have this place pretty much figured out by now, but some of the biggest unknowns are literally right under our noses, or, our feet. Just think about this for a second. Our best guess is that we have only discovered, at most, a quarter of all the life in our oceans. That means anywhere from 75 to 90% of our planet's own biosphere is a complete and total mystery. What in the world is living down there? And it's not just nature either. Our own history is just full of these giant puzzles. Take the Bronze Age collapse. Around 1200 BCE, you had all these powerful, advanced civilizations across the Mediterranean just gone. They collapsed suddenly and violently. We've got theories, drought, invasions from mysterious sea peoples, maybe even a pandemic, but we have no single answer for what caused this massive societal breakdown. It's a historical whodunit that still keeps people guessing. But maybe the most profound, the most baffling mysteries aren't out there in space or deep in the oceans. Maybe they're right here, inside every single one of us. It's easy enough to write down a definition for consciousness, right? You can look it up in a dictionary. But that definition, it tells us almost nothing about what it actually is. I mean, really, what is it? A definition doesn't explain the experience of being you, the feeling of seeing the color red, or the taste of pizza, or hearing a piece of music you love. How does this 3-pound lump of wet tissue in our skulls generate this incredibly rich inner world? We have no idea. And the mystery gets even stranger when we're not conscious. I love how the source material puts this. Every night, our brain runs a midnight movie with zero budget and wild plots. We call them dreams, of course, but we still don't have one single solid explanation for why we have them. And what about sleep itself? I mean, look at this. It just shows what a huge gap we have in our understanding. We know some of the things it does, like it's a cleanup crew for our brain, getting rid of toxic junk, but there's no universal agreement on the fundamental reason why we evolved to spend a third of our lives in this vulnerable state. Why is it so essential? And the list of puzzles inside us just keeps going. The placebo effect. How can your brain's belief literally create a physical change in your body? Or anesthesia. We use it every single day in hospitals, but we don't fully understand how it works, how it just flips the off switch on consciousness. And with terrible things like brain cancer, even the experts say we're just dipping our toes in the water of understanding them. So, after this whole trip from the edge of the universe right into our own minds, what's the big takeaway from all these unanswered questions? This right here, this might be the most mind-bending idea of all. What if the main tool we're using to solve all these mysteries, our own intelligence, is actually the thing that's holding us back? We just assume it's powerful enough to figure everything out, but is it? Is that a fair assumption? And that leads to one final, really humbling thought. What if the biggest mysteries out there aren't the questions we can't answer, but the questions our brains aren't even capable of forming in the first place? What if there are concepts and truths so far beyond our comprehension that we can't even begin to ask about them? Now that might just be the greatest mystery of all.